Alright, Shalom. Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're gonna go into the war that that has started with America and Iran. Alright, because the Spirit's been on me to do this lesson since yesterday, but things got you gotta take care of things in the world. So I was like, I'm gonna do it today. But been waiting since the Spirit's been on me, to push this lesson. So we're gonna talk about what's happening right now with America and Iran. All right, but that's here in the scriptures. So we're gonna go into the book of Second Esdras. Is in you guys' Apocrypha, or if you have an original 1611 King James Version Bible. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 27. Okay, Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 27, and we're gonna go on down. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth. See that? And ye shall remain in them, and the Most High Yahweh shall not deliver you because ye have sinned against them. So this is what we're now seeing, because the Lord is bringing judgments. Okay, the Lord is bringing judgments. You hear sometimes you have what is it? You have people, preppers, they call it doomsday. So doom means judgment. All right, punishment. Verse 28, behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. So now this is going into Iran. Okay, this is what's happening, because they're building up their forces, because America thinks that we could just go in there and we'll just take out Iran, no problem. But now now the world's finding out that, damn man, they had a whole underground city full of missiles and stuff, because they're well equipped, because they're remember, Iran is friends with Russia, so remember, like the Lord says, let the weak say I am strong, because even the smaller nations now, they're even they have pretty good capabilities, so a horrible vision from the east, the Middle East, but right here is going into the Armenian, Iran. Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, and all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Yeah, because they're rolling deep. All right, so this is what America, they didn't know. They just, because America's used to, just pretty much going. That's why America's called the hammer of the earth, because they go around doing what they want up until now, because now they got pushback. So now, remember Trump? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bomb the shit out of Iran. I don't care. Iran's like, go ahead and run it. Because they didn't know that Iran was that equipped. You see? So it's a horrible vision from the east. because who got Iran's back? China and Russia. All right, so you know, America's starting to take their troops over there, thousands of troops out there. By the India Ocean and all that. All right, out there in Yemen. All right, but still, all right, because Iran can, launch missiles from Iran to hit them. They don't have to necessarily. America doesn't necessarily have to be on, Iran's, coast just to, get things going. Because they can both hit each other from where they're at. You see? All right, so they don't have to necessarily be, right at Iran's coast. And then America too. America has a space force. America can drop missiles from outer space. Yeah. So America doesn't have to necessarily be on their shores. But in this fight, because America is gonna have the upper hand. Russia and China are gonna step in, but it'll take a little while. So like in a dogfight, America's gonna win. Okay, America is gonna have the upper hand in this little battle. Remember, not World War III, because America loses in World War III. But and this little dogfight, whatever's gonna happen right here, America will have the upper hand. But that makes America very vulnerable, because something that you gotta know is that there's sleeper cells all throughout America. Okay, and something that you have to realize is that once Iran starts getting hit with those hits from America. Okay, it's like anything else. When someone's fighting each other, what I'm saying, and somebody's getting the upper hand, that's when the other person has to do whatever, he or she, okay, has to do whatever they can to try to win that fight. That's when somebody will, excuse my Italian, but that's when somebody will, kick somebody in the balls, throw sand in somebody's eyes, because they're losing. So they got to do something, So that's what makes it a very, high alert for America, because remember, America's going to get hit, a little here and there. But once America gets warmed up, because America has good shit. All right, excuse my Italian. Remember, America can hit Iran from outer space. They have a space force. They could just drop bombs on them from space. What I'm saying? They could hit them with lasers from space. What I'm saying? So once America gets warmed up, they're gonna have the upper hand. Okay, America's gonna have the upper hand. Until Russia and China step in. But the first, America's wait till America gets warmed up. America's gonna give it to them. But remember, just like that, like in a fight, when somebody's losing, they do something, they'll pull somebody's hair, kick somebody, if they're losing, they'll probably kick someone in the balls. Hey, you guys ever seen that movie, Friday, the first one? All right, so remember that movie Friday? Remember when, I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but that movie Friday, remember with Ice Cube? Okay, remember when he was Craig and he fought Debo at the end of the movie? When he was losing, remember, what did he get? He got a brick, remember? And he threw it at Debo's face. Do you guys remember that? Okay. So, remember, because he was losing. So, in a fight, you got to do what you got to do, You got to, take out their knees. Do whatever you got to do, So, remember Craig? He was losing to that guy Debo. Remember that? In the movie Friday, if you guys ever seen that? So remember, Debo was strong, So what did he do? Remember, he got a brick and he threw it at Debo's face. Remember that? Okay, so that's what happens in the fights, because if someone really is fighting for their life, they're gonna do whatever it takes at that point, whatever. You see? So that's what do you think Iran's gonna do? Because Iran has sleeper cells in America, so that makes it very, very dangerous right now, because in these little dogfights. Because Iran's gonna hit, America here and there, but once America gets warmed up out there, shit, America's gonna have the upper hand. But remember, Iran's not just gonna sit back and take it. Remember, they have sleeper cells. So once America starts giving it to Iran, because they are, because remember, America has, the good shit. Once America starts giving it to Iran, once America starts to get warmed up, shoot, Iran can just, use another tactic and, activate their sleeper cells in America, Because remember, they don't have to necessarily be like the old days where, they're on the battlefield fighting each other, face to face. No, shit, the U.S. can hit them from outer space. The U.S. can hit Iran with lasers from outer space. You know what I'm saying? And then Iran can hit the U.S. With sleeper cells. So Iran don't even have to be over here. They don't have to necessarily like be on the battlefield face to face like the old days. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's what. This is what makes this time very very serious. Because if you live in America, because I live here as well. Because we live here as well. Some the Akim and Aqua. So when things happen, anything can happen at any time. So remember that. So once this thing gets going more and more, it makes it a very dangerous time because, once America starts to get warmed up out there, they can use another war tactic, and they can Iran can activate their sleeper cells over here in America. Like, oh, all right. You're going to hit us with this. I got something for you, So this is something that you have to realize, all right? Because it's war. Remember, it's war. Like, just imagine what people got to do just to fight, Okay, well, imagine when it's war and you're about to lose your country, your nation, and all your people. People are going to do whatever it takes, So you don't think they're going to activate their sleeper cells? Oh, shit, yeah. They're going to strategize. That's what war is. They're going to use strategy, tactics, whatever, So that's, America has to be on high alert, like big time, because that's something that can very well happen, at any time, because there's been, stuff happening all around the world, Ukraine, Russia, things getting, going over there in the Middle East. All right, but America still hasn't really got touched yet. This is why the Lord calls America the virgin daughter of Babylon, because America hasn't got touched yet by a foreign troop, but they're about to. See that? I mean, there was you had the what was it? The Pearl Harbor, but that was out there in Hawaii. You had the what was it? The Civil War, but that was the 1860s. But other than that, you had little race wars, stuff like that. But you haven't had like a full-blown war here on America's soil for a long time. So this is why the Lord calls America the virgin daughter of Babylon. It's in the scriptures. Okay, the virgin daughter of Babylon, because it hasn't been touched yet by a foreign troop. But it's prepared, because remember, there's millions of sleeper cells here from everywhere. Not just Iran. You got sleeper cells from Russia, China, Iran, Arab. The Arabs. You know what I'm saying? ISIS. Those guys. There's everybody here at the same time. It's crazy. So let's continue on. Second Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 30. Also the Carmenians. That's the Carmenians is Iran, raging in wrath, shall go forth as wild boars of the wood. All right, because they're gonna be going wild out here. See, so they don't care, because look at Iran. They're standing up to America. When America is clearly stronger, but Iran's like, yeah, run it, go for it. See, and with great power shall they come. So they're coming. How? Invasions, activating sleeper cells. You remember that, So this little dogfight is not like out there in Ukraine, like, all right, it's just going to be America and Iran real quick, you guys can just watch from your news. No, that's coming to America. Remember that, because Iran has they have a lot of sleeper cells here. A lot. All right. Big time. And a lot of the land over here in America is owned by the Russians and Chinese, especially over here on the West. Okay, a lot of the Chinese and Russians own it, and a lot of people don't even know that. All right, because remember, America is ran by the bankers. All right, so no Americans citizen has the allodial title. So yeah, you may pay off your mortgage, and on that property, but that's why you have property tax, because you don't own that land. You think that, oh yeah, this is my spot. No, you don't. Unless you have those of you out there, unless you have the allodial title, you don't own that land. You may think that you do, but this is why you still pay property tax, because a lot of the land over here in the West is owned by the Russians and Chinese. Yep, and they're rolling deep over here. We're talking very deep. See that? And the elites slid that right under the American citizens' noses, and a lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know, what's really going on out here. All right. So, once these wars start going, people are gonna find out, who's really loyal, to America. What's really going on. All right, because for them to have, America to have, UN troops here in America makes zero sense, because the UN troops hate America. All right, they hate American citizens. All right, so and there's a lot here, a lot, because remember, for that New World Order, they know that, because they know some Americans are not, like they don't have a problem. They'll shoot a motherfucker, Excuse my Italian. They don't give a shit. But there's some American soldiers that are gonna be like, nah, like, I can't do that. Like that's going too far. Because remember, if you don't take that chip, once they make it mandatory, remember they have new laws to actually gun people down. So a lot of even American soldiers, they're gonna be like, nah, that shit's not cool, But this is why they have Plan B. They have the UN troops here to get the job done, Because you gotta remember, the elites, they run America. So those of you I know that are American patriots, you're all about the Constitution and all that. It may be hard for you to believe, but it's true. But that's on you. We just got to give you the facts. And hey, if you think that we're full of crap, then I completely understand. But we have to tell you the truth before it goes down. Because that's our job. Whether, like the Lord told Ezekiel, go tell them whether they're for here or for there. So whether people believe it or say, nah, they're full of crap. But that's on you now, But we're just telling you what it is. Because remember, the Lord created the heathens. The Lord created the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Okay, our Lord knows exactly what they're thinking right now. Even in their minds. You know what I'm saying? But that, once again, that's up to the people to decide whether they want to believe the Lord's words or they want to follow their own way. It's up to you guys, And with great power shall they come, because they're coming in here, that great invasion, and they're gonna remember they're not just rolling by themselves. They're rolling with China and Russia. There's a lot. North Korea, there's a lot. And check it out. And with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. That's talking about America. Okay, so they're going to waste a part of the land. Remember that, because they're going to invade this place heavily. All right? Activate the sleeper cells. There's a lot that can happen right here. A lot. Verse 31. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. See that? So, here. All right? Because once they invade this place and activate the sleeper cells, look at how strong America is. But right here, the Lord's telling us that they're going to have the upper hand. Because Iran, Russia, and China, they're so deep here in America. Remember, there's more of them than there are Americans. And then too, the American citizens, they don't really agree with each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's already broken up, because America's foundations are broken, because a lot of Americans hate each other, So, they're not as strong, because not every American citizen is gonna join together to fight against the Russians and the Chinese and Iran, because a lot of people, everybody hears about, I'm just chasing chasing the bag, chasing the money, you know? That's it. Everyone's about, well, let me take care of me and my family, that's it. So no one even gives a shit about each other because everyone's all snotty, getting all fat and sassy, you know? And that's fine and all, but when it comes down for war, America is in trouble, man. You know, it's not looking good at all. Yes, America has a very mighty military, but there's a lot of division, remember, even within these militaries, because they're not seeing eye to eye. There's some that are like down for the New World Order, and there's some that are like, no, hell no. There's a lot. Okay, even between CIA, FBI, there's division there too. They may not say it, but there is. Because you have people in CIA, FBI that sold out to the elites, you know, and they're corrupt, and that's facts. You know, we're not just talk crap about federal agents. You know, it's real. You know, there's a big division happening here because there's people who are down with the New World Order and the people who are like, nah. So it's a big civil war happening between militaries, even military agents, agencies. You know, it's that real. So imagine you have division among Americans and the people, and then this place is going to be invaded. You know, see. 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, because they're wild men, you know? And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together, and great power to persecute them, because they're going to bind together. Iran's going to bind together with who? Russia, China, North Korea. And even, Islam. Because, what bands them, Iran and, like the other Arab nations together is Islam. Okay, that's what bands them together. All right, is Islam. So remember, they're gonna join forces with them too. Remember Ishmael, they call him what, Taliban or whatever, ISIS. All right, remember those dudes are wild. So they're gonna band forces with them too. And those dudes are wild because they'll strap a bomb on themselves and blow themselves up in the name of Allah. You know what I'm saying? So you tell me that's not a wild man? Shit. How many people out there would do that? See? And you tell me this dude's not wild? See? And you got millions of them up in here in America, See that? So imagine all that's going to be happening out here, And remember, these nations, it's just not like, everybody's advanced now. Remember, they don't just have regular RPGs and regular tanks. No, people got missiles, AI, drones. It's crazy now, Look at the AI and technology. Remember, there's private companies out there that have top-notch shit. Excuse my Italian. Remember that. Okay, there's a lot of teams out there. Okay, you think those of you that are prepping out there, you think you're the only ones? Shit, there's many teams out here. And if you got your hands on some good possessions, what do you think the other guy is? You think China and Iran can't get it? Of course they can. So those of you that come across some good weapons and all that, you think you're the only one with that weapon? Hell no, because the information, remember, we're in a time of information, like Daniel chapter 12, knowledge shall increase because a lot of people have access to, top level ammunition, drones, explosives, missiles. A lot of people have them. It's not just like America and Russia. Now, like a lot of people have them, You have private companies that are making Iron Men, that are making androids, killer drones, Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there. A lot. Because remember, if you can get your hands on it, what do you think the other person can't? Of course they can. They just got to get that right connect and they'll get it. Because remember, knowledge shall increase. So a lot of people have these capabilities, All right, yeah, so this is what you got to understand. A lot of people out here are going to have like bulletproof vests, suits and all kinds of stuff. A lot. Just look at how much the AI is advanced. Remember, it's not just America, Russia. No, a lot of people have access to this stuff now. A lot of people. Okay, so remember that. It's going to be a complete war zone out here. Okay? So, 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 32. Then these shall Then these shall be troubled, lead and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them. The invasion. Okay, because they're going to invade this place, America. It's going to be very, very bad out here. And consume some of them. See, not all of them, but some of them. And all their hosts shall be fear and dread, and strife among their kings. Right. Because a lot of people, like, you see how, like, the peoples act, like, in the, like, the government, all that, because they all act like, oh, like, they can't be touched and all that. They're going to be frightful. Remember, like, that movie Civil War? Okay, remember that movie Civil War that they came up with a while back? Remember how they ended up getting the president? Remember that? Because these nations will reach the leaders. Okay, they're gonna reach these top politicians. Remember, these governors, these mayors, they're gonna get touched. Remember that. These foreigners here are planning, like, real good. They've been planning for years. So this is something you gotta remember that. So the leaders, because right now, America leaders, they have everything. They have everything their heart can wish, plus, and they walk around like, yeah, we bomb people, I wish somebody would. Well, they are, so this is what the Lord is saying through his prophet Esdras, because they're going to be scared, like, oh shit, like they did, like they succeeded, but America hasn't been touched for so long that they're so full of pride that, like, yeah, ain't no one gonna fuck with us, they are. See that? So a lot of people are gonna be, like, shocked. It's like somebody who never got in a fight for a while and they finally got hit in the lip. Oh, remember, I got a perfect example for you guys. Remember that guy, Xerxes? Remember that movie 300? Okay, that movie 300. All right. He was the king of the Persians. Remember, his name was Xerxes. All right. Remember, he thought he was a god and all that. And then Leonidas, before they put spears in him at the end of remember the first movie, 300. Okay, so when the king of the Persians, when he threw that, the king of the Persians, Xerxes, remember, he thought he was a god and all that. And then Leonidas, before they put spears in him and his men. Remember, he threw that spear, and it hit Leonidas threw that spear, and it hit that guy Xerxes, like, on his lip. Remember, it made him bleed, and he was like, all shocked, like, oh shit, like, I am vulnerable. That's how the leaders are gonna be, because that's what happens when people are ruling for such a long time. When people are a big boss for a long time, they get complacent. They think that, oh yeah, ain't nothing gonna happen. We've been ruling for a long time, we're good. They're not good. So they're gonna have, like, a reality check, like what happened to Xerxes, the king of the Persians, which was in that movie 300. Remember how Leonidas, he almost got him, but he did make him bleed. He hit him, like, in his mouth. Remember that, with that spear? And he was like, oh shit. He was, like, shocked, because that's how the leaders are gonna be. Because right now they're walking around like, yeah, just having a ball, doing whatever they want, talking crap. But just wait until these sleeper cells get activated, because they're gonna get touched. And they're gonna be just like Xerxes, like, oh snap, Because right now America thinks, like, oh yeah, they're untouchable. Hell no. Okay, this place is a ticking time bomb, ready to happen. All right, it's a ticking time bomb. And those of you that are not covered by the Lord, woe unto thee and your children, because especially those of you that have children, because how much harder is it going to be for soldiers to survive, who know how to survive and kill and shoot. Excuse my Italian, but we got to go raw today. But so how much more, like your average person, and not saying like people are weak, just people who are like never trained for war, And then what about if you have children? You got to take care of them too, while running away from soldiers and all that. It's gonna be a long night for a lot of people out here. So that's it on today's lesson on what's happening right now between America and Iran. All right, so this is spoken about right here in 2nd Esdras. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, you guys were edified, faith boosted. Keep the faith. And yeah, just keep it solid. All right, don't worry about if you have a bad day, a good day. Don't worry about it. Remember, the Lord has the elect's back. All right, just keep it simple. Keep doing the same. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're doing a good job out there. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about. Remember, don't worry about what the enemy. Let them panic because they're panicking right now. Because remember, they see the enemy. They see missiles pointing at each other. You know, they see the spaceships. They're tripping. You know, but it's all right. Let them panic. You know, you just stay calm. Don't even worry about it. You know, remember the Lord can save. That's His name, Yahweh Shai. You know. Let me find out that you're afraid of a goofy ass heathen. Let me find out. Huh? All right, rejoice, you know. All right, but yeah, you know, get right with the Lord. But, you know, hey, this is an exciting time. Because remember, the Lord says, I'm going to help the elect. Remember that. Okay, so do you believe or not? So aren't you excited to see what the Lord's going to do? Remember how the Lord destroyed Pharaoh? What do you think the Lord's going to do to Esau and these heathens? You know, imagine. You know what the Lord's going to do, like to their jets, to their tanks and all that? Just imagine. You got to think about it like that. You know, it's not just one side. Remember that. The Lord, His Spirit, He's here, you know, and the angels are here. So remember that, you know, don't get be excited for this thing. You know? Yeah. Come on, you know, you imagine? Huh? You know, you guys are about to see some miracles and, you know, things beyond, you know, you can't even explain. But that's the Lord, you know? So just keep doing the right thing at the end of the day. You know, and if you know, things don't go your way, if you got to make some adjustments, make some adjustments. You know, don't just stay there and just complain. You know, if you got to move, if you got to do certain things, do certain things. You know, move around, make adjustments. If you got to make cutbacks, make cutbacks. Do whatever you got to do. You know, but don't stay in one place complaining. You know, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Do something else. You know, try something different. Try something new. All right. So with that, you know, just stay on the path and just keep doing the right thing, you know, in the eyes of the Lord. And the Lord got the rest. So with that, on your feet, soldier, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Shalom.